Here's the new beginnings, here's the new beginnings. The pull up so independent, we pull up so independent.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Sloan Blueprint. I am your co-host, Nicole Sloan.
And I'm Eric Sloan.
And we're glad that you decided to join us again. We have a special treat for you this episode. Special treat.
Special. I like that. Yeah. Double trouble. See? That's that boss time
Double
two.
special. Boss times two. A boss times two treat. But this episode, we decided to share some of our favorites or most watched. Would you say favorites or most watched?
Favorites, most watched, all the above.
From 2022.
So some of the, do we want to say fan favorites?
Yeah, fan favorites, most watched, favorite, whatever you want to say.
Yeah,
Favorites.
we're just going to do, I guess, recall or recap on some of the things as far as some of the information that was given by some of our phenomenal guests that appeared on the show. And
right.
Continue to go from there.
That's right. And we hope, hey, y'all, as usual, because we do have some, I think you'll be able to take notes on any of this information. If you didn't, and for those that have not seen these episodes, I think it'll be a good opportunity for you to take notes and gain some wisdom and insight from some of these phenomenal guests, as Eric said.
Correct.
All right, so, hey, y'all stay tuned.
We'll be right back.
There are thousands of cryptos out there, right? You just mentioned Bitcoin, right? Mm-hmm. Bitcoin is the biggest and probably the safest investment right now in all of crypto because it is a highly volatile market. And I say volatile, that means the prices, right? They go up and down quite wildly in kind of US dollar terms. Just kind of taking a step back, when you think of something like a Bitcoin, it was designed, or it came around the 2008, 2009 timeframe. And the people that kind of invented Bitcoin, they were really against kind of the existing economic system, right? So they were folks that said, hey, it's not fair, kind of the way that things are happening today. We want to create a more transparent system, something that, cuts out the rent seekers in the middle who are kind of extracting value from the common person. So that was kind of the launch of Bitcoin, right? A peer-to-peer kind of payment system that was open, meaning that anyone with the internet access, a mobile phone, could use it, right? It's transparent. The rules are right out there. Everyone can kind of see what's happening in that particular currency. It's decentralized, meaning that there's kind of many different versions of Bitcoin that are running or copies of Bitcoin that are running that make it kind of very hard to attack it or take it down. And it back to the rent seeker component, right? It's really cutting out the middleman. It's very efficient in the way that you can transact with the protocol. So as you're looking at kind of investing in the crypto space, you really want to understand kind of at a deeper level, kind of what is Bitcoin? Why is it valuable? Why would it ever be used, right? And kind of what is the market that it's actually going after, right? A lot of people invest in things just because they've seen a advertisement on TikTok or the barber told them to buy something. That's usually when I'm trying to sell stuff. When I start hearing people talking about tokens at the barbershop, guess who's going back to Coinbase to sell stuff? That's me. Because I know it's gotten way too overheated. But really anything, if it's crypto, stocks, real estate, similar process, right? You really have to do your due diligence, make sure you understand kind of what it is, why it's important, how it accrues value. And some of the other things, make sure that you understand the team that's behind it. There's competent kind of leadership, there's good developers behind it. Just normal, good, solid research and understanding what you're investing in. Otherwise, you're going to be passing down generational deficits versus generational wealth, because you're going to lose some money in this space.
Think about even the concept of generational wealth. Some people, I find, will sit in a session, sit in a class, and they'll ride along, but they don't want to ask, what is generational wealth? Mm-hmm. So you think about that. passing down your assets to the next generation. Many of us are first generational business owners. Our parents labored, they worked, they did the best they could with what they had. And so for us to be generational wealth, we're first generation. So we work hard to acquire assets. I heard in the last installment, you talked about, duplex, you talked about stocks, you talked about passive income, you talked about real estate, you talked about things to be able to acquire wealth. Well, you can work extremely hard and build this generational wealth, but then you want to be able to protect it. And that's what insurance is. It's risk management. You either take a risk and you either keep the risk or you pass it to someone else. So imagine someone laboring and acquiring all of this wealth and some attorney comes to snatch it away through one incident. Insurance is a way to help people protect what they have. There's several different types of insurance, and hopefully during this time we have an opportunity to discuss it because it's multi-level. It's an opportunity for us to build wealth through some of our products, but it's an opportunity to protect your wealth through some of our products as well. Sometimes what I find though, and you said this in your last podcast, is be careful who's in your circle. Because some people may not be where you are, and they tend to kind of discount some things on what they may have heard. I believe that earners are learners. People that learn tend to earn more, and I believe people that read tend to lead. So if you're acquiring information by being in a good circle of people or you're reading, I've spent a lot of my times reading. They're not long, big books. A Little Engine That Could was one of my favorites. But I read a lot. I'm an avid learner. I'm an avid reader. Insurance. The first one I'll talk about is property insurance. The Sloans have done extremely well for themselves. God has been very generous and kind to you. But through one incident, you can lose everything that you've acquired through a bad automobile accident. And your audience don't have to look far. Every billboard, every TV advertisement is, ever been injured in an automobile accident? Call me. I'm going to get them. And so if you don't have the proper amount of coverage for automobile to protect your wealth, to protect things that you've acquired, it can be taken away. That's on the property side. But also on your home. Someone could come to visit your home. You have a kid's birthday party, and there's a trampoline in the backyard, and someone get injured. You have to have the right amount of property and casualty protection to protect your wealth on the property personal side. But not only that, but in your business. You have a business. The first thing people say, whether they have an attorney or not, is, I'm going to sue you. I'm going to call my lawyer.
True.
People want to sue folks. If you don't have the right business insurance to protect your liability. I've often heard people say, my daddy being one of them, is, you can't get blood from a turnip.
Heard that saying.
You've heard that saying?
Absolutely.
But you know what? They can't, but they can take the turnip.
That's right. That's right.
I learned what I did not want, and it made it clear for what I knew that I had to have. Not have perfection in the things that I wanted to have, but someone that was willing to work towards it. I used to have this mentality that was like, I don't chase them, I replace them, like, when I was younger. And that's a very immature way to think. And I've evolved from that. And he's helped me with that because he has a stick and stay type of attitude. So I learned that as much as we talk about the chase, most times somebody's chasing one more, or somebody has more of an affinity for one than the other. That's equal for us. Like, we both want to be in this relationship. We both want to be married to each other. So we continue to do the work and realizing that marriage is work. Like, it really is work, you know?
It is.
Because in my past relationship, sometimes it was a monkey in a wig type of day, and even during those moments, you have to continue to do the work. And sometimes I'm like, oh my goodness, like, am I really gonna be married to this? And we can exaggerate instances where it's not even that big of a deal. So I learned from my past relationship what I didn't want. I learned more about myself, taking a break to be single and just getting my heart aligned with where it needed to be and exposing any baggage before moving on into a new relationship so that I could be more fresh for him. Now, that doesn't mean that I don't come with flaws.
Absolutely.
Like, it doesn't mean that I don't have things that I'm still working towards. Like you guys say, you know, you do the work. We do the work, you know, whatever that looks like, we continue to do the work. And so I think I learned, most importantly, not to quit.
Right.
Too.
Yeah.
Right.
I know it's important for our family too. I didn't think of it that way until Tanya pointed it out. So my parents went to 8th grade dance together.
Wow.
And then I looked at my friends, and my friends' parents were my parents' friends. And their friends were my parents' friends. So there was this whole entire environment of married couples that, you know, at a younger age, I wasn't even conscious of. I didn't even think that. I was just, that's just Grady. That's just Eric. That's just like, but when I took a step back, I'm like, wow, these are strong black marriages, strong loving families. And we wanted the same. So,
and I didn't grow up seeing that. Like his example, like his friends that have like, they're like faithful men, you know, like, like he can say, I'm going to play golf. And I'm like, who plays golf for 7 hours? And he's really playing golf. Like, and his friends are really playing golf. Like, that wasn't my story, you know, in my past life. So that's very different. You know, my parents are married, but not all my friends' parents are married, or in the environment I grew up in, we didn't see as many married couples and strong married couples. And then especially with him, like they're younger and then like married and faithful men. That was different, you know?
Right.
So, yeah.
Yeah, so it's the same now. We're married, and then I look at our friends, and I'm like, wow. Like, we don't, I don't know if we have this. Maybe we do, but most of our friends.
We probably don't, because my few single girlfriends are like, are y'all gonna have any single people? And I'm like, oh no, they all
Right.
Girl,
about us is what we term couplepreneurs, because that's what we do. We work together every day. I'm sure, like y'all do, almost every day.
You say that like it's a bad thing.
You know,
some days,
if
if we're honest, some days it's like, you know, hey, who are you and what you doing here?
I'm telling you.
But you know, people ask us, how do we do that? And I'm sure they ask y'all the same thing: is how do you work together, sleep together at 24/7? For us, I genuinely enjoy her company. You know, when you praying for a spouse, it's like, okay, I want to be able to do this and not have to worry about, okay, where you going, where you at? You know where I am because you're right here beside me.
Right.
We do the same thing. And so for us, it's just when you enjoy what you do and get to do it with the person that you enjoy the most, man, this is, you know, even when you're having those bad days, because there have been some days we went to work right after one of them good, great discussions.
Those very well put.
Elevated discussion is what we call it. After elevated discussion, I'm sure and then to come to work, but we never let that affect what we're doing in the kingdom.
Wow.
That has nothing to do with the people that come to see the shows, and that's our personal stuff. Keep it personal.
Right. And so, and that's and you brought up a good point. So how do you prioritize just the time for you and Tamala? How do you all, because I know you've got the work and the family. How do you do that?
I tell people, and I've said this in several interviews, they ask, how do you balance that? So if you balance something, we both know in order to balance something, you have to give it equal amount of weight. I never want to balance my life as a husband with anything that has to do with this. That my life as a husband and my marriage far outweighs anything else that I can do. Now, whenever I'm working, I give that undivided attention, but I don't give it more attention than I give my marriage. I think that's just my personal opinion. I think that's where couples get in trouble, when they try to balance out everything with what's the most important thing to me in my life.
Yes.
You know, I love my kids. I really do, but they're second to this. They're second to this because now they're all gone. I'm an empty nester. And now it's me and mama. Like, yeah, we live in our best. We live in, when I tell you these years are the best years, man,
And that's good. That's good because we also have young adults with 21 and 27. So we can kind of relate to that.
They're in their 30s when they're gone doing their own
like
thing.
really gone.
Mm-hmm.
It gets gooder and gooder.
And gooder, right? Man, what phenomenal episodes, not just episodes. Yeah. I know I thoroughly enjoyed every one of those guests.
Yep, I did as well, especially as far as from the financial aspects that we were able to learn, the wealth building aspects from the insurance component, then of course the couples, and being able to listen to Tommy and then Tanya, and then also with Mr. Man coming in and just giving his wisdom.
Right.
And knowledge over just a relationship aspect.
Exactly.
Of it. So,
don't leave my brother out now. You just say the crypto, can't leave my brother out.
That was the financial piece.
You said.
No, I said
insurance.
He
said
insurance. Financial piece,
no, but really,
I incorporated insurance.
Really, they were both phenomenal. Mr. Durham, I mean, he's just a guru. And I mean, I don't even know, is that the perfect word probably to use? He is. He
is a guru.
He is. Has been around a long time, and he knows the insurance business like none other that we've ever met. And then my brother, of course, Mr. Brandon Lee. He is
Mr. Brandon.
My niece calls him Mr. Brandon, his daughter. But Mr. Brandon, yes, the cryptocurrency aspect of the financial piece was definitely something that I know that I have a lot of interest in, but just didn't know what to do, and still learning.
Correct.
Of course, didn't know even just the basics and the foundation of it.
And I think right now, if we're from the current events, as far as how the market is right now, is way down. They had a little turmoil on a couple of coins that were out there, but still good information to research and to help you in building some generational wealth.
True. And as you said again, Tommy and Tanya, phenomenal. We enjoyed them. We always cut up and have fun with them, no matter what, on and off camera. And Mr. Man, he was great.
Yes.
We missed having Mrs. Man, but you never know. Maybe in the future. Who knows?
Who knows?
But we are thankful for you all joining us for our 2022 fan favorites, most watched of 2022.
I have a question for you.
Sure.
Did you know that they can watch all of our shows on YouTube, Facebook, to get more acclimated? Then they can also follow us on each one of those platforms.
You might need to tell them then. Did you just tell them?
Just told them just then.
Tell them again, just in case they didn't hear you. Say it loud and clear. But tell them how to watch.
You can follow the Sloan Blueprint on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Spotify. If you have your Apple iPhone or Android, if you do a search for podcasts and then also type in Sloan Blueprint, you can follow us there.
Right, yep. And don't forget, Boss Times 2 merchandise is available at wearethesloans.com. So y'all make sure, share this with your family and your friends. Y'all know how we always say it, with your cousin, them, your pastor, them, everybody. Share with everybody. And we appreciate you joining us once again for another episode of the Sloan Blueprint. Y'all be blessed.
Here's the new beginnings. Here's the new beginnings. The pull up so independent. We pull up so independent.